What is going on, everybody? This is MMA Genius, and this is UFC 157, Ronda Rousey versus Liz Carmouche. Ronda Rousey is how the Brazilians would say her name. But anyway, let's get to the fights. First, we have Now Sham Burrell versus Nuri Villafort. Now Sean wins by unanimous decision in a good fight. Then we have John Manley versus Neil Magny. Neil Magny beats John Manley by unanimous decision. Then we have Kenny Robertson versus Brock Jardine. Kenny Robertson beats Brock Jardine in the first round by leg lock. Then we have Sam, the sparring partner Stout, versus Carlos Fodor. I call Sam Stout a sparring partner because every single fight that he is in, it looks like he is sparring. And by the way, I met Sam Stout, and he's kind of like a D-bag, putting it for real. Sam Stout wins via split decision. Then we have Dennis Bermudez versus Matt Grice. Dennis Bermudez beats Matt Grice in split decision. Watch this fight, it's very exciting. Then we have Michael Chiesa versus Anton, who I don't know what his last name is or how to even pronounce it. Michael beats Anton in submission rear naked choke in the second round. Then we have the heavyweights, Brendan Schwab versus LaVar Johnson. Brendan beats LaVar Johnson by unanimous decision. This fight goes the distance. I was not expecting this fight to go the distance. I was expecting to see a KO or a submission. Then we have a welterweight battle, Josh Koscheck versus Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler TKOs Josh Koscheck in the first round. And I was saying on Twitter, you can follow me at MMA Genius, I was saying, I hope Robbie Lawler wins so we can have some new contenders at the top of the division. Then we have Court McGee versus Josh Neer. Court McGee beats Josh Neer by unanimous decision. And in the first round, Court McGee almost had Josh Neer beat. But you know what? Watch the fight. Trust me, he was lacking the killer instinct. If Vanderlei would have had somebody in that position that he had Josh Neer in, it would have been over. This guy instead, I'm going to take his back, even though his face is right there. Dang. In the second round, it looked like he was sparring. I don't know what was going on. And in the third round, they both looked like they were sparring. But he took away the victory, unanimous decision. Then we have a bantamweight fight, Uriah Faber versus Ivan Menjivar. For this fight, I basically said the same thing. I hope Ivan Menjivar wins so we can have some new top contenders at that division. But Uriah Faber submitted him in the first round by rear naked choke. I want to say during this fight, the one time Mike Goldberg says something that is not scripted, he says, Team Alpha Male is also Team Guillotine Choke. Shake my head, really? By the way, he blocked me on Twitter because I said that a little kid could do his job. All he does is read from a script and say what's going on in front of him, which anybody can see. Oh, and of course yell, it is all over. And of course always say, 30 seconds left, 1 minute left. We already know that. Then we have a light heavyweight bout, Lyoto the Dragon Machida versus Dan Hendo Hollywood Dangerous Henderson. The Dragon versus the H-Bomb. I was saying on Twitter, this fight is going to be extremely exciting. And wow, everybody in the world and at the arena and on Twitter were like, what is going on here? The fight was not as exciting as it was expected to be. It honestly looked like they were both like... put it this way, just follow me on Twitter. I wrote everything on there. I said... they were not fighting to be killers. They were not fighting to be the best. They were fighting to not be knocked out. I want you guys to seriously think about that. And if you don't believe me, watch the fight. That's why they call me MMA Genius. I'm telling you. They were fighting to not get knocked out instead of fighting to knock the other person out. Trust me. If you saw the fight, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, Lyoto Machida won. The MMA media and the fans were all like, doesn't matter. I said it doesn't even matter who wins because what they both did was not really exciting, awesome, or significant. So it could have gone either way, but Lyoto, I guess, he gets the next shot again. And now for the main event, for the Women's Bantamweight Championship bout, the first women's fight bout in UFC history, we have Ronda Rousey versus Liz Carmouche. Then we have Ronda Rousey versus Liz Arm. Ouch. Okay, yeah, I'm not part of the media, and I say whatever I want, and I've been watching this sport for a very long time, and I say the truth. The media on Twitter was going absolutely crazy. Oh, this is it's a historic event. Oh my! Listen, the women have been fighting for a very long time now. Period. End of discussion. Okay, number 2. Ronda won by armbar in the first round. Big surprise there. It almost went to the second, which was awesome. And I honestly wanted Liz to win just so I can, because Ronda has been crammed down everybody's throats, and everybody already knows that. And I just wanted it for Liz to win so Dana can tweet an unhappy face for once. And that's it. Ronda wins. First round armbar. No big deal. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again. It happened in Strikeforce. Everyone, even the UFC was... Oh, this is another thing. They were making a big hoopla about it. Listen, women have been fighting for a very long time. Listen, did you guys see the pay-per-view? Not one time was Vanderlei Silva versus Brian Stan advertised. Just Nick Diaz versus GSP. Are they in, and that is the next UFC event. Silva versus Stan is the next event, and they didn't even advertise it once. I Twittered, emailed a bunch of reporters and said, what is up with that? It was all GSP Diaz. And if anybody knows, and have been watching for a long time, UFC advertises the next event, and then the next event, and then the next event. They just said, this is the next pay-per-view, and then they advertise it. Are you kidding me? What about the most exciting fighter in the history of fighting, Vanderlei Silva versus Brian Stan? BS, I'm telling you. And kids, and everybody watching, that's the truth. Yeah, I'm not lying. Am I lying? No. That's it. That's it. I'm just laughing because... Hando Machida, what in the world? That was not as exciting. And the pay-per-view was $45? Listen, I'm not a negative person. I always like to see funny stuff. But when a bunch of like negative stuff happens, I gotta talk about it, you know? But yeah, good win for Ronda again. And Cyborg was there watching, and Tito was there watching. And we'll see what happens next, but I really can't wait for this next event that they didn't even advertise about, Vanderlei Silva versus Brian Stan. Yes, please, where do I sign up for that? Anyway, that's it. I will be making a video, of course, of Silva versus Stan, and stay tuned for that. Hector Lombard versus Yushin Okami, Takanori Gomi versus Diego Sanchez, Mark Hunt versus Stefan Struve. Damn. That's a very exciting fight and card. Very exciting. Can't wait. Thank you for watching and subscribe.